Hi YouTube! Today I am making a video about bonding, which is something that I've talked about before, but only briefly. And I'm just gonna jump right in. I have these notes here, so I'm gonna consult them whenever I need them. And I guess the first thing I should talk about is what the problem actually is. And the problem is that I'm not bonding the way I think I should with Tyrion, and my boyfriend isn't either. And by bonding, I guess I mean the feelings I have for Tyrion. I feel like he should be the most important thing in the world for me, and I should, you know, the things that parents talk about, that suddenly you have this person that is more important than anything, and I don't really have that, and I guess the issue is that it's taking so much time, because I know that it is pretty common that you don't get these feelings just instantly the moment the baby is born. Some people do, but not all people, and I knew that from the start. I knew that before I had Tyrion. Excuse me. So I didn't really have an issue with that. I just figured that it will take a bit of time for us, and that's no problem. But then the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, and I just felt eventually that this is not going anywhere, and I don't want things to be like this. And also, I guess I do have quite a few risk factors that people talk about when it comes to bonding and problems bonding with your baby, and I have several of those. The first one, I guess, is the fact that he was born early. He was 6 weeks early, and that can sometimes be a problem. For me, I wasn't ready to give birth at all. I was happy being pregnant. I mean, if I could go back and talk to the person I was then, I probably wouldn't say that I was happy to be pregnant completely, because I did have a lot of side effects and just the usual issues you have when you're pregnant and being big and all that. But I was happy in general being pregnant. I had bonded with the belly, and I was happy about that, and I really just, I loved that stage of the pregnancy, when people could actually see that you're pregnant, and you can show that openly without people thinking like, is she fat or is she maybe pregnant? So I was very happy about that, and I was happy that we had 6 weeks more, and I actually thought that it would probably be more, because I've heard that first time moms usually go longer than 40 weeks. So I thought, oh, we have all this time. We had just moved to a new house, and I thought that we have this time to just nest in this house, and that's what I wanted to do. And also, as I said, I had bonded with the belly very well, and I loved that, and I was happy and content with that part, that stage of the pregnancy. And then all of a sudden, I was gonna have a baby. I thought that we were just going to the hospital for a checkup, and then when we got there, it turned out that I was 5 centimeters open, so there was no return. Basically, I had to have this baby, and it was very overwhelming. And that's probably, like I said, one part of the problem for me, and the fact that he was early and I wasn't really ready mentally. The second thing is that he was colicky for quite a few months, and he screams a lot, and he's very unhappy. Not all the time, not as much as when he was younger, but still he's not very content, and he goes like that from being happy to being sad or angry. And just the fact that he screamed so much when he was littler, and that he was inconsolable, which they are when they're colicky, can also be a problem bonding. You couldn't really connect with him, and I know from the start, when they're really tiny, of course they don't really connect with their eyes, and they don't smile and all that, but just in general, you never had nice, calm, quiet times with him, or at least it felt like that, and you couldn't really bond because he kept his eyes closed and he screamed, and that's what he did. So that was also a problem for us, I guess. And then we also had problems breastfeeding. I couldn't breastfeed at all from the start, because he was so small that he didn't really have a suction reflex, I guess, and he got all his food from a tube in his nose, And then when we got home after a couple of weeks, we started trying to breastfeed because I had been pumping milk through those weeks, so I did have milk. And it got better, and he started nursing more and more, but he didn't gain weight as he was supposed to. So eventually, after I think 2 months of trying and trying and trying, we just stopped breastfeeding, and he's gotten formula since then. And that was, of course, it didn't feel very good because I had planned and hoped that I would be able to breastfeed for a long time, at least 6 months, and that was what I wanted to do, and that didn't work. And so, of course, that was a sad time for me too. And then I guess the last one that I've written down, at least, is the fact that I don't have a very good relationship with my mother. She wasn't really there for me when I was a kid. I don't remember living with her ever. I lived with my dad because she just didn't. She wasn't ready to have children. She was 20 when I was born, and obviously she wasn't ready. So that's also something that we discovered recently. That's probably a big part of the fact that I can't really express the feeling, or that I can't really pull out the emotions and the feelings that I have for Tyrion, probably somewhere, that I'm shielding myself most likely from feelings. So I'm not letting myself feel the good feels either. And yeah, those are the risk factors that I have, and there are more, I'm sure, that can make this an issue. I haven't read up on it a lot. I read some stuff before Tyrion was born, and I remember those things, and I've also talked to people about it. And then I just want to talk about what I'm doing about this, because I obviously don't want things to stay like this. I want to fix this if there's a fix. And what I've done was, initially I got in contact with a psychiatrist who works with children and families. She works at the childcare facility that we go to. So we started talking to her, and that's where I started realizing that this problem with my mother is probably part of this. And she was very good, and we talked about a lot of stuff. And she also gave me some pointers on what to do and things like that. But then she also referred me to I don't know what to call her actually. I want to say behaviorists, but I don't know. I know that's a different thing. I've studied behaviorism before, so that's probably not the right term. But either way, she works with, I think, exclusively with bonding with families. That's what she does. And she uses filming. It's a specific, I guess, a specific way of working with this. I don't know the name right now. I can't remember. It's something on an M, and it's in Latin, I think, or Greek, but I don't remember right now. But what she does is she films families interacting, or in my case, me and Tyrion interacting, and then she analyzes those films. She goes back, watches them, analyzes them, sees the things that I do and the things that Tyrion do that are good for bonding. And then we meet again, and then she, I guess, is supposed to bring these things up to me and make me more aware of the things that I do that are good for bonding. So as far as I can understand, she doesn't like nitpick and pick out the things that, oh, you shouldn't do that, because that can only or that can cause more problems. But as you can hear, I haven't really gone through this process yet. We were there last week and did some filming just with me and Tyrion playing, and me dressing Tyrion for going out into the cold. And she's analyzed these things now, I think, and then we're meeting tomorrow Monday, where I'm seeing her again in the morning, and that's when I'm gonna get her notes on the films. So that's gonna be very interesting. I'm a bit nervous, but it's gonna be fine, I'm sure. And I don't know if I'm supposed to see her again, if I'm gonna go there regularly, or if this is a one-time thing. But either way, I'm gonna make sure that I keep getting help from the professionals, because this is something that I want to fix if you can't fix it. There's just one thing that I want to go out on, and that is if anyone sees this who is having problems bonding with their child, or maybe know someone who is, just make sure that you seek help. I think that's very important, because this is a very taboo thing, and I don't think people talk about it a lot. I've told a lot of people, actually. I've told family and friends and stuff like that, because I just felt that I needed the support from people around me. But people do look a bit differently at you, I think, and at your relationship with your child. I know that some people point out when I'm with Tyrion that, oh, he's so cute, and now he's smiling, and you're smiling at him, and I'm like, yeah, I know, that's not the problem. It's not that he's not smiling or that he's not cute. That's not where the problem is. So I realize that a lot of people probably don't want to talk about this, because you can get treated differently, but I think at least you should seek help from professionals, because they do have these ways of helping. Of course, this is something that can work itself out on its own, but I think it just feels good to have help and have those people to talk to, and to know that you're not alone, because obviously they will tell you that a lot of people have these issues, and you are not alone, even though it feels like that sometimes. But that's what I'm gonna go out on. I'm gonna go keep studying, because as always on Sundays Michael has Tyrion and I study. So I'm gonna keep studying, I'm gonna upload this vlog, and tomorrow we will be back on schedule with the regular cute Tyrion vlogs. I hope you're all doing well, and if you're having problems bonding, seek help and know that you're not alone.